In this video, we are sharing 5 of our best tips of how to grow a YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers, plus celebrating that we are almost there and probably past there by the time you might see this video on the replay coming up right now. But hey, if you're just joining us, my name's Sean, this is Benji, and this is Video Influencers. And if you've been a part of this community, we're so thankful you're here. I just flew into Seattle for this shoot. We're gonna be batch producing some content this week, but the timing's been crazy because we are about to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we wanted to celebrate with you and share some tips. How's it sound?
And well, I haven't actually seen the sound yet, but people are saying they can hear us. We were at 99,997 or something. We just broke 100,000 subscribers.
Woo!
Thank you guys.
We can't get that crazy here because there's people all around the airport.
Anyways, thank you guys. You know, the reason we're doing this is because how ironic is it that Sean is flying in here from Vegas, I'm picking him up at the airport, and we're about to cross 100,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for subscribing, for following, for watching. And of course, you know, if you guys don't know our background, Sean and I, we've been in this YouTube platform for about 8 years. So like double that, almost 2 decades. And you know, we've had a lot of experience with our own channels as well as helping other people build their influence, income, and impact with online videos. So that's why 2 years ago we decided to create this channel. So we wanted to do this video to give you 5 tips on how you guys might get to 100,000 subscribers as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of lessons. We have, of course, you've seen a lot of videos on our channel. We always recommend you check those out, but these are just a couple kind of different things that we've thought of. So Benji, let's do number 1.
Number 1, and you guys, if you're wondering why I have this earphone, I'm just double checking the audio. Number 1 is consider adding something different.
Yeah, consider adding something different to your niche or your niche. You know, what's interesting is we encourage you not to be discouraged if there's other people that are kind of doing what you're doing. So when we think about it, we know like 20 to 30 people who teach YouTube tips, you know, friends of ours, other people that we don't know as much. And we, you know, we thought, well, it's crowded, there's other people doing, should we start this? What we wanted to do is think about how can we bring something a little bit different and unique. And what nobody else was doing as far as teaching YouTube and video advice was an interview show. And so one of the things that we wanted to bring that was different was a weekly interview show in addition to those tips and tricks. So the question is, what could you do in your niche, in your category that could be different even if your space is crowded so that you could stand out?
Absolutely, and you know, there's other channels like ours that's teaching a lot of this stuff. Some people that have been doing this for much longer, their content is great, and that's why I love our interviews, because we're able to gain from the experiences of other YouTubers. Not planned, we just went into it naturally because we both knew that we only know so much, even between both of our experiences. So that's number 1.
And actually, let me share another tip on there. One thing to consider is maybe you could start interviewing on your channel. I did consulting with 2 different people this week. One had a like men's advice, how to be a man, millennials need kind of like fathering and mentoring. And I was like, man, you should start interviewing authors who write about that topic. They would say yes, you could do it over Google Hangouts, it'd be easy to do. Talk to another channel, recommended the same thing. So it probably doesn't apply to everybody, but consider that for your channel. What if you added interviews to your content schedule?
And a great opportunity for collaboration, which is one of the best ways to grow your influence. And they would appreciate not only that you're promoting their stuff, but that you acknowledge and are grateful for the wisdom that they can share. So do we want to go on to number 2?
Let's do it.
Number 2 is play to win. Take this seriously, you guys. Don't do this like as a side thing or this could happen. Make sure you do this and you know that it will happen and act like that.
Yeah. So play to win instead of playing not to lose. And what I mean is it's kind of a mentality that sometimes, and maybe you're doing this, I bet, you know, I've talked with so many of you in our community, and I know that a lot of you kind of are doing this. You're kind of focusing on defense rather than being aggressive on offense. And what I mean is, I understand money can be tight. I understand resources can be limited. But when you're playing not to lose, it's kind of like you're just protecting what you have as opposed to taking risks, you know, stepping out there. And so one of the things that I love about, you know, working with Benji And as we went into this thing with a lot of uncertainty, but he's invested money, I've invested money, we've invested time. We haven't really monetized in a really major way here on the channel. And so there's been risk, but we've been playing offense. We haven't been thinking, how do we protect and kind of constrict and just keep what we have? We've been thinking, how do we expand and grow? And so what I mean is, maybe that means taking a big risk and buying a plane ticket so you can fly to a live event this year, because at that live event, you're gonna be able to network and grow your channel. Maybe that means investing in some equipment because you believe in what you're doing, and it's gonna be a stretch, but you're like, man, I gotta get on offense. I've been playing it too safe. I need to step out a little, take calculated risks,
Yes.
Don't jeopardize your family, but be a little more aggressive.
And even one thing that a lot of people don't know, that even influencers here that follow us, is that this is not our main thing. We both have our individual ambitions, our own channels, and we do so many other things, but we still treated this like it was our main thing. So when we recorded videos, we talked about video influencer. We weren't necessarily promoting our other things, as well as we knew that even though this isn't our main thing, it could become our main thing, and we treated it that way. And I really believe that's one of the reasons why so many of you guys have followed us, and we've put out content accordingly.
Absolutely.
Number 3.
And yeah, we'll get to that. And do us a favor, because we're celebrating. We're so grateful you're here. But definitely share this broadcast. Can you hit that like button?
Yes.
And then, Chris, if you can drag your finger on YouTube Live, and there is comments, and we'll do Q&A in just a bit, so that you can get to the older comments on that one. And actually, in that middle, Chris, if you want to pop it up, go ahead and switch the filter on us. There's some bomb filters.
By the way, you guys, YouTube Live, this is new.
Yeah.
I believe they are offering this to people with 10,000 plus subscribers. It's not offered to everybody yet, but this is a big deal because we usually go live on Hangouts. Well, now you can go live from your phone, and I'm telling you, just like Facebook, this is a big deal. And I'm seeing a lot of creators utilize it because they like it, but also it's smart right now. And the way, in fact, the way it popped up on my phone was pretty amazing, because it's not like a regular video, and I know that it could potentially be showing up in places that your regular videos aren't.
Absolutely. So if you don't have 10,000 subscribers yet, don't worry, because everyone's going to be getting the app soon. You'll be able to go live to your YouTube channel just like this from your mobile phone. All right.
Totally.
Number 3.
Number 3 is experience is everything. Now, we mentioned in the beginning in our introduction, we've both been doing this for almost 2 decades combined, and we're grateful for hitting 100,000. However, we have so many other channels that we've been able to get to different levels of subscribership, but more important, we put in a hustle for years before we even started this channel, and we gained wisdom from those experiences to be able to create this channel, even though it wasn't our main thing, but because we were working smarter as well as working harder, we were able to do this. So experience is so important. How it relates to you, the creator, is this: get started right now. You might not get to 100,000 right away, but you know what? After you do this once, twice, 3, 4 times, however many times, you're going to gain so much more knowledge, so much more experience and wisdom to help you eventually get to 100,000 subscribers.
Absolutely. And with that, be patient on the journey, right? So what's been kind of cool for us is, what people don't see is that I was doing video production in 2003, right? So sometimes overnight success takes 10 years.
Yep.
And so no matter where you are in your journey, be patient and keep leveling up your experience, mastering your craft. Think about, how can I take what I do in my niche to another level? How can I level up my education, my skills, my communication, my depth, the quality of content I'm putting out? And what Benji's mentioning is that, in one sense, you could say, how do you get 100,000 subscribers? It only took us 2 years. But it didn't actually only take us 2 years. It took us our entire lives.
Yes.
Because our entire life was learning and experiences and other types of things. And so the same thing is, be patient on the journey, that these things take time.
And a lot of people obviously are looking up to people like Philip DeFranco or Casey Neistat or other amazing superstars. Realize so many YouTubers were doing things even previous to their experience on YouTube that was adding to those skills needed to become superstars, right? So even Sean, you were doing video way before YouTube, correct?
Before, yeah, I was doing video before YouTube existed.
Exactly, and I was editing video back in 2003 when I used to work at the YMCA. We were putting videos for the breakdancing battles, and I would just edit on a computer. Again, experience is so key, and I can't say this enough. If you haven't already, start your channel, work it like it is gonna be something, and you're gonna learn so much in the experience. And oftentimes some of the most successful channels aren't the first ones.
Absolutely, and I would add to that as well. Somebody came up to me at a conference recently and they said, I started looking around YouTube and I noticed you have like 6 different channels. and they're like, how do you manage them all? And I was like, my answer is I don't. 4 of those never really went anywhere. Literally. So like 4 different projects. It was learning. I learned a ton. I'm thankful for it. That was the experience.
Yep.
But it was all the things we learned in that process that we were able to deploy as we launched future projects. So again, just be patient. No matter where you are, be encouraged, and just keep getting experience. You're learning so much. Continue to learn, continue to grow, and let's jump into number 4.
Number 4 is different angle or spin to your niche or genre of content. So what that means is do something totally different. Now we kind of said this in the beginning about consider adding something different. What we're talking about is like your whole format. So a lot of people like to copy or steal, as we like to say, other people's type of content, which there's nothing wrong with that. In relation to our channel, there's a lot of talking head videos talking about YouTube, optimizing social media. One of the things that we did very purposefully is like we didn't want to shoot our videos in the same place. Now that was a circumstantial thing as well, but we're like, we're gonna do it in different locations. And that's kind of how the interviews came up. We were always in different cities, wherever Sean and I were connecting. So that was one thing we did to kind of like brand ourselves a little bit different. And I think Sean's skills as well add a little bit more entertainment visually, so it wasn't as dry as talking head videos can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, you may have noticed with video influencers that I think our branding does stand out. I think we have a kind of a different style of music. We have, as Benji mentioned, we never wanted to be in front of a green screen. One time we were actually in like an infinite white background, and you guys were like, we don't like this because there was
really?
something,
Yeah.
there was something to like the grittiness that our videos kind of had a realness to them.
We're in an airport, you guys.
We're in an airport right now.
There's a plane hanging behind us, okay?
Yeah, and so, you know, the thing is, how can you bring, you might have a crowded niche, but how can you bring a different angle to it? You know, a lot of like the hip hop influence, Benji's background, b-boying, underground hip hop. I was, you know, watching a lot of skate videos, snowboard videos, and so everybody else in the space was using stock royalty-free music. It might seem like a subtle thing, but those are differences, right?
Yeah.
So what's your difference?
Yeah.
One's not necessarily better than the other, but really going deep into who you are and finding a way to be different. So if you could be the urban street version that hasn't happened yet in a particular niche, or vice versa, if you could be speaking more, you love green screen and you love a whole different look, just really finding a way to brand yourself different. It could be music, photography, the way your channel graphics look. You know, all of our branding, you know, whatever, is obviously a subject for opinion, whether or not you like our branding. But what the people who resonate with it, I've heard messages, people say, the vibe, your vibe attracts your tribe.
There you go. And then on that note, a lot of people, so to be fair, we're not just trying to do something different, we're just being ourselves, right? We're not like trying to be the next other channel, right? We're like, this is our own channel, and of course we're pulling from our background. So for you guys, other influencers with your channel, think about what's in your past that could add like a little bit of flair to your content, and don't be afraid to do something different. That's what we're talking about. Do something that you vibe with, right? That potentially other people can vibe with and probably like more than other channels, just because of that connection you build with that specific audience.
100%.
Bam.
Hey, we're gonna do Q&A in just a second. We have number 5, right?
We have number 5.
And then, but if you're getting value out of this, can you hit the thumbs up, share this post,
retweet this? I haven't even been able to put this on Twitter, so you know, share this with other people that would benefit. And even though we hit 100,000 subscribers, don't be afraid to suggest to other people.
Yeah.
Video influencers.
On a journey, going even beyond, right? And so, what is number 5? And then Benji, if you actually want to share it out, that's a good idea, and that'll get us ready for the
totally.
Q&A.
I'll introduce number 5, and then that's what I'll do. So tip number 5 is no time is no excuse. And this is one probably that I really want to hammer on, because so many people create all these excuses, not necessarily just about time, about anything, about why they can't do this, why they can't start, why they don't, can't continue putting on videos. Again, I'm going to say this. I've got so many other channels, so many other ventures, other things I'm focused on. I spend very little time in comparison to those things on video influencers. Same thing with Sean. But again, like Sean said, we did this to make it something that we believe it could be and treated it that way. And even though we both live in different cities, right? We're recording for other channels. We always made sure to create content for you guys because we believe in this so much.
Absolutely. And so thinking about, where there's a will, there's a way. And so sometimes people say, I have a full-time job. Well, on the one hand, we are completely empathetic, knowing that the struggle is real for YouTube. We can empathize with your situation, your circumstances. But here's what I know. I know that Benji is a dad. He's got kids. He's got a wife. And then he's also got really kind of a YouTube empire that he's managing with Judy and everything that they're doing. And so taking on something else like this, in a way you could say he had a full-time job, like with all that goes in. And so this was a part-time project. That's the reality. Video influencers is our side hustle. For me, I was thinking about Think Media TV, my tech channel, all of those things. All that to say is just to encourage you that it's possible. If you have to work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and you've got kids, whatever, put them to bed, spend a few hours with them, and then start grinding from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. if that's what you have to do. When we launched Video Influencers, I was actually a campus pastor at a church, which was a 40, 50, 60-hour a week thing.
On top of being a consultant for other people's channels, including ours.
Yeah. And so all that to say is just to maybe let your thinking be expanded that it is in the realm of possibility. It doesn't mean it's easy, but that if you really want this and you really want to go for this and you want to grow your channel to 100,000, you can do it. On the side. You can do it in those spare hours. You can do it. We've had seasons, we like to say we post weekly interviews and weekly tips and strategy videos. We missed 1 week. 1 week an interview didn't go up. We snuck in a Google Hangout. We found a way to get a video up because he was in Seattle, I was in Vegas. There's been some gaps.
Did you talk about live yet?
So it hasn't been
utilizing it?
And we could share that tip in just a second. But all that the point is, like, the journey's been imperfect. Our schedule's been imperfect. But don't even worry about it being messy in your situation. Don't worry if you miss a week. Don't worry about all that kind of stuff. But just keep grinding, keep hustling, but really put in the extra work. It's hard to explain. We find ways to batch produce content. We find ways to, again, invest our own money. And you might say, well, money's tight. Well, what do? Earned it elsewhere. Yep. To invest our own money to hire somebody to contract with us to help us shoot or to help us do things. And so there's just ways to solve problems.
Yes.
You just want to be in possibility thinking, not impossibility thinking. Don't list out 10 excuses why not. You just need one excuse why, because you're passionate about this, because you want to make a difference. You want to build your influence, income, and impact, and then you can find a way.
You want to hold that?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so you guys, I just want to piggyback on that and just acknowledge that Sean, when he first started, see, this is the thing, like, this was my full-time thing, was YouTube. When Sean first started, it wasn't his full-time thing, right? So, like, if there's anybody that had an excuse, it was definitely Sean. And for him, and this was a truly 50-50 collaboration, right? So, like, make the time. And I wanted to talk about a few of the hacks that I would suggest, right? So my number one hack is batch producing. So one thing that Sean and I are doing right now that we've done for the last 2 years, we will meet up at least once every month or every other month and literally record all of our videos all at once. So that's one. Two, going live. What I love about going live is, especially with YouTube, utilizing live videos as like an archived video afterwards, so you can make it searchable and rank it for search, is no editing involved, right? So like, say you're somebody that doesn't want to learn editing, maybe you're not good at it, now you have no excuse. You just go live and YouTube's gonna put up the video for you. Do you have any hacks, Sean?
Well, yeah,
that
and
you wanna
so
talk about?
and going live, just knowing that you can use Google Hangouts
Yeah.
to even just do your own video.
Yeah.
You could just go live from a webcam, talk live, or you could interview. Like sometimes people say, like, "How did you?" We had a great interview with Amy from Savvy Sexy Social recently on Video Influencers. She was in Columbus, Ohio, I think, and I was, in Las Vegas. But that video came out and it was a solid video. So just thinking, if you're like, "Oh, I don't live in a right place. Oh, I don't have access to this or that." We don't want to minimize those challenges,
Yeah.
but you just want to find ways to overcome them. Be in a problem-solving mentality and put in the work and the hustle, and you're going to get there.
I really do believe as well, one reason why it was maybe easier for Sean and I compared to other people, even with all of the things that we've had going on in our own life, is like we're truly passionate about this. That's one of the things that we always recommend to people. When you're first starting a channel, do something you love, right? Something you would do for free. In fact, we've been doing it for free because this is what we've been doing on the side for literally 8 years. So my background in YouTube started off not as being a YouTuber, but helping Judy, my wife, become the superstar she is. Of course, I always give her the full credit for getting to where she's at. However, I was always in the background, managing the business, negotiating with brands, and then doing a lot of the optimization in the background. And I learned so much from that experience, and I enjoyed it because I enjoyed seeing Judy go from, like recording videos from the corner of my room with a stack of shoe boxes and lighting from the window to literally being a mega star, in my opinion, a celebrity on YouTube. And I want to do that for you guys too. So like in my heart, and I'm sure in Sean's heart as well, that we're doing this because we believe in the potential of YouTube and online video in general. And you guys can do it too, no matter what is going on in your life. And we've met almost every YouTuber we've met all had to go through the struggle of not enough time or plenty of excuses why not, and they made it happen.
Yeah, 100%. I remember we interviewed Nikki Philippi, 6 months, 16-hour days, or like 10 to 16-hour days, lots of Starbucks coffee. And, and before, as she was growing her channel, and she was putting that in daily to really get it hustling and really get it growing. Chris is laughing at the buzzer.
Are you laughing at the buzzer?
It's funny. It's just...
No, yeah.
Chris, you should read us some of the comments. What? What's the comment? What's the comment?
The buzzers. The
What
buzzer.
I'm laughing at?
Yeah.
Benji's my pet bird's name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, that's funny. Anyways, some of the comments are just asking about.
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
we're
that
gonna.
they're at. Oh, I thought you were asking for comments.
We'll do some
Oh.
Q&A here
Yeah.
in just a second. So actually, Chris, you can swipe on those, and so
Find us a comment.
find some good questions in just a second. Again, thanks for being here. We're in the airport.
In the airport,
there's beeps.
there's intercom.
Intercoms.
People walking by. I even had a viewer come by and try to say hi that recognized me. So again, we're like not making any excuse. In fact, we're like, are we gonna get kicked out of here?
Yeah,
or whatever. Like we're not supposed to be doing this, but we're doing this for you guys.
Find a way to do it. Just
And we
do it
wanted
wherever.
to be here while we cross that, when I say finish line, we always had this goal last year to hit 100,000 subscribers. Again, very low on the totem pole for like what we really wanted to do, which is add value to your life, to your YouTube channel. And again, I want to notate, we didn't hit our goal, but we didn't quit. We're like, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it pushing because again, long term, this is a long game for us. This
100%.
isn't like a 1 year or 2 year. This is potentially 5 to 10 years out. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but we know that there's value for people that subscribe to this long term, and we know that there's value even for us long term, and we're willing to put in the hustle even if we don't know what's beyond the unknown.
Even if an escalator is being rebuilt and metal
that what's
plates
going on?
are being dropped on the ground. But hey, Chris, kick us a question. And if you are just joining, we are going to do a little Q&A. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers. Thanks for being a part of the journey, whether you started from the beginning or you've only been here recently. If you had any value from video influencers in general, can you hit that thumbs up?
I did tweet
That
this
share
from the
button.
Video Influencers Twitter page, so share it or
You can retweet
it
that.
or follow us. We only have 2,500 followers on Twitter. We have 100,000 subscribers. I'm sure a lot of you would love to follow us because we actually post on there updates about what we upload and everything. And then we like to vibe with you guys there too.
Yeah, actually, it's a great place to get your questions answered is on Twitter. We're very active there. Okay, what do we got, Chris?
Questions.
I have a good question right here. With many varied interests and passions, how do you stay focused on a single interest for a channel?
That's really good. So, my initial thoughts there is that I think that if you're watching this, I know a couple things about you. I know that you're creative, obviously, or you wouldn't want to make videos. I know that you're probably kind of entrepreneurial. And as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you always get excited about the newest, latest idea. Like, there's probably not a day that goes by where I don't think, wow, that would be a great YouTube channel to start. That'd be a great business to start. Well, that'd be a good collab. That'd be a good thing. And that's outside of the focus of what I'm currently doing. And so having that happened, I heard it put this way, that we all experience FOMO, fear of missing out. We have one YouTube channel and we get an idea and we get FOMO about the other idea because we're like, what if we do that? I might miss out if I don't do that. But here's the thing. You have to acknowledge that that's probably not going to go away for you ever. You're always going to be pulled in those directions, but that's successful. The difference, I think, between successful video creators and entrepreneurs and ones that kind of flounder and never get real traction is discipline to stay focused.
Yeah.
At the end of an interview with Barnacules Nerdgasm, which funny, name,
Just put
right?
that up, right?
But at the end of the interview from Matt at Vlogger Fair, he said, it took him 6 years in the tech space to get like 10,000 subscribers, and then he grew to 800,000 in like the next 1 year. But he said the biggest mistake he sees people make is they switch directions too often.
yeah.
It'd be like if right now we wanted to drive to Florida from Seattle, we're on the opposite ends of the country, and we decided that we wanted to drive to Florida, and then halfway there we're like, you know what though? California would be cool too. We'd have to turn around. Doesn't mean you never pivot and change directions, but we'd lose all the progress that we made in one direction. We'd reverse that energy and start having to go back into a different direction. And a lot of entrepreneurs, it's okay to experiment. Video creators, it's okay to try different things, but it's discipline. It's the willingness to say, I'm going to create a channel like Video Influencers. Benji loves to run. We both love green juice. I like to run too. We both, we have tons of different hobbies. We have all these different things, but Video Influencers, we're not going to post that stuff here because the channel has focus.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big powers. Clarity is power. And so I think it's just discipline to make a decision so that you can create a brand that stands out.
Yeah, there's 3 things I want to add to that question. Number 1, there are no rules on YouTube, right? Like, there's been people that totally broke the rules and went mega crazy popular and got tons of views and subscribers. So I'd say do what works for you. But second thing is this. Sean is a great example. You can do multiple interests, but spread it out on multiple channels. If you're just beginning, sometimes that's what's needed to find out what tribe you connect with the best, what type of content you just vibe with the most, and then pick that route. And in fact, Sean's biggest channel of focus isn't video influencers, even though this is one of the big things we've been focused on. It's something totally different, more focused around creators and tech, right? The third thing I'll say is this. The YouTube creators that have been most successful on YouTube and online video in general always did have one focus, right? And they built from that. My wife, Judy, for example, when she first started, it was all about beauty, and she specifically focused on hair, and she did that for a very long time, and then started vlogging, did that for a very long time, and then started a mommy channel. So give it some time, commit, and then if you want to switch directions, I would say start a whole nother channel, but it takes a lot of work, period.
Yes.
Boom.
Thanks for the question. And if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. And Chris is capturing those. Chris, what's the next question?
People are asking, it's a lot of them, posting, how many times should you post to either gain that following or just to be consistent on your channel? What's
Perfect.
too much, too less?
Yep. All right, so Benji, take this, but I'll restate the question. Question is, and a lot of people have been asking, how many times or how often should I be posting? What should my schedule be to really have an impact?
Yeah, well, I'd say, again, there aren't any defined rules that are going to work or not work. It really depends on the type of content. Now, I'd say as a base for anybody just starting, we always suggest at least once a week.
Yep.
If you can't commit to one video a week, you're going to have a very hard time. And this is just based on our experience. However, if you have a daily vlog, then that's going to be daily, right? Even some daily vloggers are doing 3 to 5 times a week, okay? That's going to be totally different than maybe news of the week kind of channel, right? So again, it just all depends, but I'd say at least once a week is what you should be committing to or prepared to be able to do to have a successful channel and give yourself the best chance for success.
Yep, and my biggest thing is, here's a little framework for you. If you know how good your best piece of content, think about the best video on your channel of all time, if you have some videos. If that best video is like an 8, 9, or a 10 on your channel, what I would recommend, as Benji said, I would recommend you try to do a video a week, and you would try to keep that video at an 8, 9, or 10. If you go to more videos, and you could do 2 that are at like a 7, 8, 9, or 10 based on your niche, your quality, a really good video, really good content. If you could keep it at a high level, then go to 2. But if you go to 3 videos a week and the quality is like, drops to like a 3, a 2, a 4, you know, you're kind of only as good as your last at bat. And then people are like, yeah, sometimes they put out good stuff, sometimes it's not as good. And so what I recommend is actually, some of you should cut back. Some of you, I think you should post less, but post better videos, more thought out, better quality. I've seen in just numbers from posting tons of even video influencers, even Think Media TV, if I put a lot of energy into a video that I kind of know will do well, and then it does do well, one video might get, say, 25,000 views or 50,000 views. I would rather do one great video, and then that keeps getting views. We call that ranking in search. We talk about that elsewhere. It keeps on ranking. I would rather put out one video that gets like a huge impact and has like a long-term impact, something I want to share monthly with people, than to put out like daily content that's only getting, 1,000 views. Does that make sense? Like, because it both is good, but I want you to keep that quality level high. So try to only post videos for your niche, your skill level, where you're at. Don't let your videos drop below a 7. And be true to yourself. This is kind of your own judgment, but if it wasn't that good. If the quality wasn't there. If it's a 3, rework it and keep your content quality as high as possible.
So do we want to just do one more question, because I got the comments pulled up on the
cool.
phone?
Yeah, we could do a couple more.
Okay.
Hey, if you're just joining us, we're celebrating 100,000. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
We're shooting new videos this week. We have new interviews coming, and we are just pumped. But we're there. And if you've gotten value from video influencers and you haven't hit the thumbs up button on this video, or if you don't like us and you want to hit the thumbs down, either is okay. Just hit one of them. Make a decision.
This one's better.
That is
better. The question I'm going to answer next is from Christopher. It says, how much promotion is too much promotion? I feel like I'm being annoying with how much I'm promoting my channel. I don't want to drive people away. Now, thank you so much for your question. A couple things there. Like, are you talking about within Twitter? Are you talking about all social media platforms? Are you talking about like promoting your channel within your video? See, this is what I say, right? Like, if you've got great content, you're going to be able to tell if people are getting annoyed with the promotion, but I would just promote as much as you feel your audience is willing to hear about your promotion, right? But again, if you have great content, a lot of times you don't need to promote. However, it's going to be based on your own audience and what kind of feedback. But I'd say you should at least be able to promote once for every piece of content on all platforms.
100%. And here's actually, I think, the skill to develop is there's a skill of promotion. So I think here's what is bad promotion, and any of this, in my opinion, is too much. I get this a lot. I actually will get tweets that will say, can you go watch my video right now? That's actually pretty aggressive. And you think about that. Even if that's the goal, you could probably word it better. You could kind of try to start a conversation. So that's bad promotion.
Yeah.
If you are kind of pushing it, forcing it on people. Furthermore, even if you tweet out a video, hey guys, I have a new video out, go watch it. Some people can do that. Maybe you learn from big influencers that if they do that, it works. But again, I think that's bad promotion. But good promotion is if you were to send a tweet that said, are you curious how to save 20 minutes every week in meal prep? If you had a health and meal prep channel, that's not even promotion. The very content that you're delivering is free. Does that make sense? It's free value. It's not go watch my video. What can you do for me? This is, man, 99% of the people on the internet make this mistake. The way they promote their YouTube channel is like selfish. It's like, go watch my video, like go watch my stuff, go look at me. As opposed to, are you curious how to get more views? We just interviewed someone who's an expert and we're gonna share our tips. Sure, you're promoting your video, but it's like user-based. Every time you post a tweet or an Instagram, think about the way your copy, the words down below, what's in it for your audience, not what's in it for you. And if that's the kind of promotion you're doing, I don't think you could do too much. What you're really doing is you're bringing awareness to something that also could specifically help somebody. If you tell everybody to go watch a video, that's kind of selfish because it probably won't be relevant for everybody. Even our videos are maybe, like if we interview a family vlogger channel, you could probably I believe you can learn something from everybody, but that might not be relevant for you, so you skip that interview, right? So we want to be really transparent that that's the video that we just posted. So if we say, curious how to grow a family vlog channel, so-and-so shares their tips, great promotion. Whereas if we say, go watch our new video, that could kind of trick you, and you're like, oh, I'm not a family vlogger, that wasted my time. And so I think there's a real art to promotion, and where promotion isn't even promotion.
Yeah, and I can tell you how we promote, my wife and I, our own content. Like I was saying before, we give ourselves at least one chance to just straight up say, hey, we've got something new. We would like for you guys to check it out if there's value, okay? We don't actually use those exact words. But beyond that, we're almost always promoting our content indirectly. So what we do is we put out pieces of content that hold value in itself. So like Facebook, for example, we're always uploading native video there, small little clips of our longer vlog, and we don't put a link in there. We're not saying, hey, go check it out on It's Judy's Life every single time. Again, it's like a teaser, but there's enough value for them to want to watch it. And then again, we're indirectly, maybe not necessarily promoting our content, but we're reminding people. You know, one thing you have to remember is the reason your promotion is annoying isn't because that specific post is just annoying. It's just like everybody's promoting, right? Like, so the brain can only take in so much stuff. So we use a strategy where like anything that goes out beyond that one promotion post has to be something they'd want to and enjoy watching if that's all they watch, if they never went, right? Is there enough value? And we talk about that all the time, you know, like, so when we put out a video, sometimes we'll do like a native Facebook video or a native Twitter video to not necessarily indirectly promote that stuff, but you know, just again, add value and then do a call to action thing. People just want to know that you care and you want to protect their attention because that's where the trust is built. You don't want to endanger that trust.
100%. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's actually, I don't know if you have one or two. How long is this live stream, Chris? 37 minutes. We can stay on here a little longer because we wanted to. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers. Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without obviously this community that we care so much about, because we really believe that we're like-minded, right? We share similar values. We want to build our influence, and we see the power of doing that with online video and YouTube. We care about building our income so that we can support our families, fund our dreams, but ultimately so that we can make a greater impact in the world and make a greater difference in whatever niche you're is, whatever that means for you.
Also want to add, you know, a lot of people ask, is it too late, right? Is it already flooded? I will tell you this, after 2016, I already believed this before that, but after 2016, I believe even more it is not too flooded. I met so many creators that I just met last year or we interviewed that had amazing success stories, right? Like one I want to interview, I actually got to connect with them, Christian LeBlanc, a travel vlogger, and he grew to 200,000 subscribers in a year's time, right? In what I thought was starting to become more flooded, but there is so many eyeballs out there, and this is what, you know, I like to bring it back to. So we've got 100,000 followers, right? Well, the population in the United States easily is 300 million plus, but the population of the world 6 billion, I think,
Yeah.
is like flirting with 7 billion people. And as the world gets more connected, people are going to want to connect with you on your specific passion or the type of content, and you could potentially be an influencer of those people that aren't even connected yet. So that's why it's even more important for you to start right now. Like, get good, gain the experiences, to have the skills, so that when the time is right, when the right audience is all looking on YouTube or any video platform, that you're there for them to watch and for them to subscribe to.
100%. Benji, could you grab another question?
Yeah.
And then, what I would also say about Is It Too Late? It's cool, we're in Seattle, right? And there's a little coffee shop that started here in this city called Starbucks. And I think it was probably approaching a couple decades now, a little over a decade that company's been around. And I remember before it existed. I grew up here in Seattle. We both, in the Northwest here. I remember before that even existed. And here's the thing. If they looked and they could say something like, is there anybody else doing coffee? Is the coffee space too crowded? And there's Seattle's Best, there's all these other companies, and they could just say, it's too crowded, there's no reason to start it. But they started something, and it grew to be the largest coffee influencer in the world, and they were not the first there, and it was not a space that was needing coffee, they just created something new. And so there's definitely so many principles you could learn right there. Obviously creating something unique, being excellent about it, bringing a different angle, caring about different things, whatever. But they did that, right? So even in YouTube, we're not going to deny that maybe it's challenging, that maybe your niche, your niche is crowded, but nevertheless, it's not too late. Just come out with your best work, keep leveling up your own video quality, your own communication quality, all your stuff. Keep bringing it to another level and be the Starbucks in your niche, or the hipster opposite. Is it too late to start another coffee shop? Well, if you want to be Starbucks, probably it is, because you can't, you're born an original, don't die a copy. So you don't want to copy them, but maybe you want to start the local anti-Starbucks coffee shop. The foam art, the very organic, all the different types of things. Well, those succeed too, right? Because they figured out a different angle in one space. And so you could still do it on YouTube in your space, figure out your niche, your angle, and bring it.
So this is an interesting question. I would love to hear the answer from you, but also I think it brings up other bigger points. DIY SEO guy asks, does adding a competitor channel name as a tag in my videos help my videos show up as a recommended video to the watchers of the competing channel because of the tag?
So here's a good example. So here's the question is basically this: if I'm a boy band artist and I'm trying to get my music discovered, if I add Justin Bieber to my tags, will I show up when someone watches his video and the related videos? The answer to that is pretty much no. However, there is a principle to it, and it's going to be more if it really is in alignment. And so you may have known Roberto Blake. We interviewed him, good friend of ours, and he did like a Microsoft tablet video, got a lot of views, and where you can show up in the related videos is where there's close relationship. And so what I mean is, if a competitor also was talking all about like Microsoft Surfaces, and you were adding good content, good videos about Microsoft Surfaces, and then you added Roberto Blake to your tags, and you were kind of a similar channel. Screen. That's so funny.
Kids.
The kid just came by.
I got 3 of them, so times that by 3, that's my house.
Yeah, it's wild. Hey, they got that escalator running. Yeah, and then all the people started coming. So anyways, it can help if it's a little more sniper and it's a little more strategic. Meaning, if you put out that good video about the Microsoft Surface, another person like Roberto Blake did, then after his video ends, your video might get recommended and it might show up, right?
Yeah. I have a great hack that you did that kind of relates to this. It was your video you did on Think Media TV about Casey Neistat's setup, okay? So why this is a great example is because I wouldn't say Casey is a competitor of Sean. The bigger question here is the audience is the right audience, right? So it's a similar audience. watching different things, but it's relevant because of this. So Casey Neistat has a very classic setup. Now it's classic because of him, right? So a lot of people are always asking what camera to use, what's that tripod, what's the different mics and whatever. Sean made a video about his setup, even used Casey Neistat's face in the thumbnail, his name not only in the tags, but in the title, right? You're talking about showing up in recommended videos. Well, that's not only gonna work, but also it's very relevant because the audience is looking for that video. I mean, I'm sure they would prefer it from Casey, but Casey didn't have a video that was as in-depth as what Sean brought, and Sean brought a video about what Casey Neistat's setup is, and I think that is kind of similar to what you're asking about the competitor. But again, see, I don't think of this whole YouTube game as competitors, right? I think that we can all help each other. What's more important, the question to ask is like, who has the audience that would want to see your content? And in this case, not all of the millions of people that watch Casey would want to watch Sean's video, but enough of the people that want to become Casey, that wants that setup, totally. And I think that's like one of the most viewed videos you have, right?
Yeah, and that's actually a good case study that if, you know, anybody watching, whether live or on the replay, it's worth studying. I think if you type in Casey Neistat camera gear, that ranks near the top. And one of the things about that is actually a lot of people do this. Call it what it is. There's actually a term. It's called fame jacking. You kind of are writing on someone who's blowing up. And one thing I noticed, if you type in how to vlog like Casey Neistat, there's like 30 people who have posted a video called how to vlog like Casey Neistat. So, and sometimes you really, this is a great principle for everybody watching. You really want to be aware of trends and ride the right trends. I also encourage you to go watch that video to see how I did it. I tried to be very humble, give credit to Casey, did give a lot of disclaimers, reference his content. You know, I think there's like a right and a wrong way to do it. I tried to do it as good as possible. But even Sarah Dici, who was on our channel, she was like kind of the original how to vlog like Casey Neistat, and she ended up getting a shout out by him.
Featured.
But even showing up in recommended videos, that whole thing is another way to do it. It's a great question. So generally the tags thing, it's not gonna do a ton for you, but only if there's like real close alignment with maybe similar sized channels.
And it can backfire on you, right? Like say you're trying to hijack these people's traffic by using their name, and then you end up not actually having relevant content for those people, and they found you that way. Well, what's going to happen is the audience retention is going to drop, and YouTube is going to see that, and you'll get dinged for it. I don't know what all the ins and outs and the details are about what the ding is, but again, they want to make sure that the video that people are watching, your video, is actually something they want to see, not just 1 second of, but like a good portion of it. So consider that too. Like, you don't want to do anything that creates a really bad audience retention for yourself and YouTube. Think of it as a platform. Remember, YouTube wants to be very relevant with their search. That's what they're really good at. So if you're just trying to get that free view, it's not like the 2008, 2009 strategy that so many people are using. It's not like that today.
Right.
It's actually very, very relevant. It's very fair.
Let's do one more.
Well, maybe even quicker because there's security. So.
Okay, awesome. Let's sneak in one more. Let's sneak in one
Go ahead.
more.
Oh, you want me to look at one more question?
One more question, and we'll
Okay.
land the plane.
Yeah, go
Hey,
ahead. If you can find one.
if you're just joining us, thanks so much for being here. We're celebrating 100,000 subscribers, whether live or on the replay. We appreciate you. We're pumped that you're a part of this community and this family, and we are going to be putting out, we're working on new videos this week.
Yeah.
Up in Seattle, gonna get some coffee. Gonna be drinking a lot of coffee. Gonna drink a lot of green juice. Gonna run a lot of miles.
Batch producing.
Benji's gonna run more. I'm gonna jog in the beginning. May shoot some drone footage this week. Might shoot some new stuff, some new content.
Yeah, and then again, if you guys leave comments after this broadcast is done, all those comments, we're gonna look at those for potential video ideas. So please leave in the comments
Definitely.
the type of videos that you haven't seen. And you know what? If you're new to this channel, go back to some of our other videos. Somebody asked, one of the questions that somebody asked was like, do you have any tips for choosing the right YouTube name, channel name? Well, that was one of our first videos. Actually, one of our videos that get a lot of views because it's very relevant for a new creator, even somebody that's established, because names are swiped up so quickly these days. So you can look back at our archive videos.
Yeah, that video's cool. And actually, can you do us a favor? Because here's the thing on YouTube Live app. this live chat disappears and it'll disappear forever. It's actually really sad because sometimes you want to go back and like see and reconnect with people. So when the video comes down, it'll process, it'll go back up. If you want us to really shoot a video this week, leave a comment with your #1 question on the real comments. So it's not, it'll disappear if you do it in a live chat right here, but once the video processes and then is archived on the channel, then you can leave it there, because we're gonna be shooting some in-depth, we're doing our research, we're getting together, spending tomorrow prepping the content, gonna be talking a little bit about tech, some tech accessories and stuff like that for YouTube Live, a lot of cool things, some behind the scenes stuff. But anyways, if you wanna put that comment on there, you have to wait, but in about 20 minutes, that'll be there and you can leave a comment there.
Okay, this is a great question that I actually seen a couple times, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it. When I started my channel, I thought that my target group was going to be females that love soccer, but actually I have more of a male audience. Should I rethink my content? Okay, so what I love about this question is also, like, you know, it goes into something bigger about YouTube and this experience. You know, you should always definitely start a channel based on what you're passionate about, and you should think of the audience you're going to connect with. So of course, in this case, maybe you are a female and thought obviously you would connect with other females, but sometimes your content, it just vibes with males for whatever reason, right? I think that you should not rethink your content unless for some reason you're gung-ho on connecting with more females. The other thing to ask yourself is maybe there's a reason there's more males. Maybe it's just more males are watching YouTube, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think what's most important is, like, are you having fun? Right? Do you feel like this is something you want to continue doing? If the male viewers were abusing you or like hating on you, like, that'd be a different question. But if they're enjoying your content and they think it's valuable, I'd say go with it. I wouldn't necessarily rethink your content. I would just acknowledge the fact that there's more males watching and keep that in your mind as you're continuing to create great content.
Absolutely, I would agree with Benji, and that's the whole thing. He said go with it, and I think that as creators, we're in a tension of, it starts with you. It all should start with you. It starts with your passion, it starts with what you want to do, but then what happens is the community comes into play and they begin to shape things, but you have to keep control of your own brand and your own messaging. So you vibe with the community if it's a good fit, and you learn, you're like, wow, things are shifting, and you shift with it, unless, again, you're like, this is getting weird, I feel like my community is pushing me in a direction, you know, remembering it's entirely up to you. So it's a real balance, and it's personal. It's a pretty personal question, but figuring out, okay, what is your vision? What is your heart? What kind of content do you want to create? Are you on mission and on vision for yourself? And then how does the community fit in that? And if that's in alignment, roll with the community and do that. But if the community is trying to change you, it is up to you to either change who you are, whatever, and maybe that's what you want to do, maybe that's compromise, who knows, or to say, now I'm going to stay focused whether people like it or not, because at the end of the day, it's YouTube, it's YouTube, it's your tube.
Yes.
This is your tube. So you stay in control of your brand.
That's what I love about live. You never know what's going to come out, you know, like sounds, our answers, like everything. So anyways,
aeroplanes.
I also want to mention this because I am actually starving right now.
Yeah.
I actually grabbed a salad at Trader Joe's and scarfed it down before this, but I'm
didn't.
still hungry. Yeah, and I just want to say that because I would love to go out to dinner, but also I just want to thank you guys again for not only watching this, but anybody that has been subscribed, especially from the beginning. We really appreciate you guys, watching our content, and I'm hoping it's because we're adding value to your life, helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. We're super passionate about this, and I really want to state this again. I believe that there's so much more growth for this platform, so much more growth for online video, with so many platforms utilizing not just online video, but also live. Like, there's just so many more opportunities that are gonna be coming down the pipeline. You just have to get started right now by subscribing to our channel, hitting like, and watching this content, but more importantly, creating your own content right now.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So thank you so much. High five on 100,000 subs. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey, and definitely stay tuned for more videos. We'll link everything up in the description a little bit later. And then if you do have a video idea for us, again, on the replay, you'll be able to post some comments. We'd love to tackle your question, maybe turn it into a complete video. Hey, until next time.
Here at Video Influencers, helping build your influence, income, and impact with online videos.
Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.